Welcome, guys, back on
Wait,
another.
wait, 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 wait,
What?
wait.
What? What is it?
Are we recording?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
I'm
Well, you can
keeping.
just cut it. We can cut this off and then, right?
No, we're keeping this in, Ivan. This is
Oh,
part of
please.
the. This is part of the episode. We've already started
Okay.
recording.
Cool.
I spent too much time on setup that I need to actually make sure we're recording.
Yeah,
But
I'm good. We can start.
all right.
Let's go.
Hey everyone, my name is Agustin Contreras,
I'm Ivan Moreno.
and this is another episode of Border Talk. We've since learned a lot since episode one, and we have made a lot of different improvements, especially me, who kind of screwed up his audio on the other time and wasn't very proactive in that aspect. Isn't that right, Ivan?
Yeah. Some close friends of us told us that I sounded extremely loud compared to Agustin, so he fixed up his mic, and hopefully this time it sounds better. Um, if it does, just tell us. Anyone listening? We also had some listeners, so thank you for listening.
Yeah?
Um,
I
we
pre-
weren't expecting anyone to listen the first podcast. Because we're doing this for fun, so it's
yeah.
not we're not expecting much.
I was checking our metrics and I saw that it was actually at 11 today. So 11 people have been listening to this. So whoever you guys are out there, whether it's our friends, our loved ones, or just random people on the internet, thank you for taking the time to listen. And our listening time actually improved. It's gone to like around 5 minutes. So
That's good.
we've managed to catch the attention of some people for at least more than that.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
On a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah, of course. 30 minutes is enough to. It means 1/8 of people actually like the attention. So they managed to give a little bit of hearing. Oh, and also, Ivan can't see this, but like since we're recording, we've actually added our logo now. It's at the right side of the screen. So we'll be able to feature that now since the placeholder we had was just a crappy text that I just randomly edited in. So now we have some official logo now. So yeah, we're taking this project a lot more seriously now, and we're making improvements episode by episode.
Yep. We're trying to improve. I did the logo, so if you guys don't like
Mm-hmm.
it, just make another one and send it to us. So
Mm-hmm.
if there's someone out there that's a professional designer, we would love a free logo.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm slapping another text file on it and calling it a day. I am not an editor or let alone a designer, so I'm not very good at making logos. I appreciate Ivan for doing this, and because honestly, you're a lot more talented at this than I am. So, props to you, man.
Well, I took a couple classes on high school, so I know how to work it, but you know I'm not the best at it, just because I haven't done much of it.
Yeah,
Haven't practiced in a long time.
I think I only did like around Photoshop and maybe at best a little bit of Paint back when it was like the shit with like Microsoft when they were introducing that. Since
Yeah.
then, it's actually just been what GIMP has been dominating. A lot of people still use Photoshop, but I've seen a lot more people use this app on like iOS called Designer and
Yeah.
Procreate, which is like basically the mobile versions
Are,
of Photoshop, but just a lot
are they
more
free?
optimized. No, Procreate I think on the market costs around $10, and I think GIMP is still free. So
Yeah, yeah. That's why a lot of people use GIMP because it's free.
yeah, and it's open source.
Yeah, so it's nice. Because here, Photoshop and Illustrator, you have to pay the monthly fee.
Hmm.
So that's what sucks with that.
No, and I know I was talking about the other day with my subscription. I recently ended it with Adobe because I was paying around like what $22 because I have a student discount for being
Yeah,
part of ASU like for a year. But this is something that people don't talk about. Where yeah, they'll charge you $22 a month to get the service subscription, but let's say you only needed it for a semester,
you
then
can't.
you can't opt out of it because then they'll charge
Yeah,
you all the other
for like the
months.
whole year or
Hmm.
whatever it is, right? It's like a little contract,
It's
like
basically
1 year
like a
contract,
new
basically.
it's basically like a contract you make with them and you can't opt out of it. You can break it and pay the fee, but you might as well pay like the monthly service even if you didn't
Yeah.
use it. Cuz honestly, I only needed it for I think Adobe XD when I was doing this app class and also just to be able to edit PDFs, which since I've realized that there's a lot better programs. I currently use Foxit. Not sponsored by them, but I prefer that.
Yeah, I'm used to Photoshop and Illustrator and everything like that, Adobe Premiere. So I use the Creative Cloud, sadly. Um, but I'm open to try different programs later on. But I'm still trying to become an expert using
Mhm.
Photoshop and Premiere. So it's harder if you like. I want to jump in between programs instead of just learning one. So
No, yeah, the same with me. I've been getting a little bit better at using like our video recording software, trying to manage editing to make like the audio slightly better. I've since then fine tuned my video since like last time I noticed it was a little choppy, and
Mm.
me and Ivan, as we were going over this, we noticed that my FPS was set to 60 frames a second, and
Oh, it said to 48.
48, yeah. And
Yeah,
Ivan was like, "Why do you have it at 48?" I said, "I don't know. It's just the default." And he's like, "That's the weirdest number ever." And
because it's usually like 30 or 60.
yeah,
So
30 to I think 60 is now like becoming more standard.
yeah, for sure. 60 is becoming the standard now.
And I know there's recently been like a Twitter battle of like the tech YouTubers who make like the 8K videos that they prefer either 24 or 60 frames, and some people say they prefer 30, and others prefer this rate. Honestly, it really your choice. If you like 60, you can go with 60. I,
Hmm.
I wish in most like cases you can just opt in what kind of frame rate you want. Like being able to
Yeah.
produce any type of frame rate and then just select it. Kind of like how on YouTube you can select, the quality. If you don't want to watch 1080p because let's say
Hmm.
your internet's slow, just switch it to 480. But it's like if I wish the same case would be towards your FPS count as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to the 60 now, so
hmm
mostly
So,
for like video games and stuff. Like when you see a stream,
hmm
they usually have they stream at like 60 FPS, and their camera's usually at 60, so
yeah,
it's like it looks nice.
yeah.
But and other than that, if I'm on YouTube, I'm usually like at 30. That's what
I'm I,
people record at.
I'm 60. If I have it on my phone, it's on 60, and also on my tablet, I also have 60 FPS. The only thing I don't use it on is on my main computer because I have a widescreen, and maybe it's just me with the big screen, but I don't. If it's the widescreen doesn't really make sense with 60 frames because
Yeah, that's for
a
sure.
lot of people don't record in widescreen port aspect ratio, so it doesn't really look as pretty. And that's just
Mm.
me. Like if I see 60 frames on like a TV, like those six nice 4K TVs, oh, they look beautiful. But if I translate it, maybe it's just my panel being a little bit older, but it just doesn't look as nice. Maybe the colors aren't as accurate.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, this is not our talking points for what we're going to talk about, our topic for today. We're
Yeah,
just
that
going
we're
off
we're,
what happened?
we're just going off like whatever script we could think of. But our topic for today was just going to be about just how life has been for us in quarantine. Ivan and I have been still shut in our homes for the past 2 months now.
Yeah, so basically we're just going to talk about like how life's been different in quarantine, how we've been coping with it and how what we've been doing. Um I don't know, you do you want to start? You want to tell your side like how your life's been during quarantine?
It's been a little bit of a different change, especially with how I adjust to work life has been. I've basically become an all home worker, occasional visits on site, but depending on like if there's emergencies. So there's not really much physical work for me to do, like go to a
Yeah.
place and swap out a hard drive or swap out a computer. Very
Oh
rare.
yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, he does IT, so he's doing his stuff remotely,
Yeah,
basically.
so I've been basically doing customer support, but on the phone from my house. It hasn't been too bad the adjustment. I mean, my company has been promoting green more remote appointments because it's more healthy for the environment. So we don't like
Yeah.
waste more costs and like traveling, trying to do gas, and also having to like fight traffic because we both live in pretty big cities. So the traffic is a huge issue over here.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Like, if you can do the work remotely, why send you to the location?
Yeah.
Like if you can do it remotely, there's no reason for them to send you somewhere else and do it.
hmm Yeah, and I would think it's like it's probably going to be like that for a while. My boss has extended our remote appointments, or at least focusing on the remote appointments till maybe the end of June, because some clients are just uncomfortable with having people over, and it doesn't really have to do with the health reasons. It gets a little bit more business mindset where if let's say I happen to carry it, I'm not sick at the current moment, but let's say I'm a transmitter and I give it to someone at a different company, then it might lead into some legal liability where
Yeah, for
and my
sure.
boss has been trying to reduce that. So we're doing our best to stay ourselves until something gets done to like give us some sort of like immunity for this person does we're not required to say whether we're sick or not. As
Mhm.
morally, that it's kind of like it's just more business mindset and less irrational, but it's
Yeah.
just how it is, and
And
it's.
when you go to work, do you have on sites like usually? Like,
Recently, I've had a couple on sites, and I've been
do
wearing a
they?
mask, and
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna ask if they make you wear a mask and gloves.
yeah, my boss makes me, not the companies I visit. They don't require their workers. So
Yeah.
since I'm a third party and like a contractor, we have our own rules.
So they do make you wear a mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they.
How do you feel about wearing a mask?
Let me tell you, man. With with my beard, it's been very uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I've heard with beers, like it doesn't really work out because it doesn't create a seal.
Like if I could, I have my masks currently like in my car because I have like a bunch of disposable ones,
Yeah.
and when I put them on my face, it's like it covers people who are listening to this audio, but try to visualize it. But if you can like surround your nose, the cheek area, imagine like you're still covered, but your beard makes like the part of the face mask just goes a little bit higher, so it elevates it, so
Yeah.
airflow still goes in, and it basically defeats the entire purpose of like wearing a mask because I'm still exposed in some way. And I have tried like shaving this part and making it a lot more trimmed, but it still gives me like a little bit of an edge and it still feels uncomfortable just because it like scratches against the beard, and oh my god, it's just too much.
And do you like wearing the mask? Because I've seen online a lot of people are like some stores are requiring masks,
Yeah,
and they're like, I guess it's like they don't want to be told what to do, but like, do you like wearing the mask or do you like are indifferent about it?
I don't mind because I care about safety, and
Yeah.
if I'm like going out to like a quick area, I don't wear a mask. But if let's say I'm gonna be at a store like where I'm gonna be interacting with more people, then yeah, I do wear a mask, and I'm not. I respect the rules that they have because it is their business. Like
Hmm.
everyone has to follow protocol in some way, and I just
Yeah.
think that's the best way to go at it. I don't mind disinfecting my hands every now and then. I mean, I do it anyway when I'm in the car after every appointment because my hands
Mhm.
get pretty dirty. That's one thing because some people just don't clean their freaking
Yeah, a
keyboards.
bunch of
And
dust and dirt and everything.
nah, the worst thing I've seen was with like some client, like she basically ate at her desk like nonstop, and dude, it was like greasy. There was honey all
Dude,
over. The mouse was already like patchy with like how if you have enough grease, it'll like stay on your mouse, and
yes,
it's
yeah, you
just
can see the grease. Yeah,
that is
I know
awful.
what
And
you're
like
saying.
I'm a clean freak because I like making my desktop look a little nice. I like getting rid of dust. Sometimes I might
Mm.
slack and like let a little bit stay on, but I'm very like stingent on making sure everything's clean. So when I work in
Yeah,
other people's offices, I'm like, God damn, how do you live like this?
yeah, like I rarely eat at my desk because I'm the same way. Like I don't want food crumbs on my keyboard. The only thing there's a bunch of dust here because I have the fan on all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and since we live in Arizona, we have dust all the time. But yeah, I don't eat at my desk either. It's kind of weird. Just very rare cases.
If I had like one of those nice lunch trays where you can like plop it on your lap and then you can eat your meal and keep it
Yeah.
separate, I'd do that. But that's just too much work for
Oh,
even myself.
wait, my light fell off.
Oh wow.
Just talk for a little bit. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Well, Ivan addresses that. Yeah, work for me has been that. Life in general in Arizona hasn't been too strict because there's still like travel allowed. There's still things you can do. Um, we recently opened up businesses on the 15th, and things have been going back to normal. At least people hope to go back to normal.
Yeah, so as we were speaking, everything's basically open, right? Everything's back to
uh,
normal.
Everything that
Just
wants to open
restrictions
is
on things.
open. Yeah. So
Because
any.
gyms open, pools open, barbershops open,
Mhm.
restaurants can now dine in, but some like most of them have restrictions, like limited people.
Anything small business has been open, and local has been probably doing its best to get back into the regular system. I know all the Apple stores in Arizona are still closed, so they won't be
Really?
opening anytime soon.
Yeah.
I saw on their blog post that they are considering reopening, but it's still later down the road.
Yeah,
And
because every time I go to an Apple store, it's always a bunch of people like almost shoulder to shoulder in there.
mhm. my one of my fraternity brothers who works at Apple, he works at the corporate division in this part of Arizona. He didn't give me a word on when the official reopening is, but it
Yeah.
is happening like within probably like the next month or so.
Hmm.
And it's just to promote safety. I've seen that a lot of stores, or at least Apple, is considering giving people temperature checks and face masks when you enter. So they're gonna really adhere to the fact of having to do like stay safe is what they're
Yeah.
promoting a lot, which is quite admirable for them as a company, and it's probably gonna raise their stock a lot in the
Yeah,
coming year.
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Apple would do that. Like, they are the company to do that.
yeah. I
Just to
guess.
do better.
I mean, the Apple has to stay clean, right?
Yep.
But anyway, now that I've talked a little too much about my perspective, let's give a little bit of a chance for Ivan to talk about his. So lay it on us, Ivan.
So my life hasn't been too different. Like, the only thing that's really changed is like we used to hang out way more, and like my roommate used to be here. My roommate's gone. He's basically went back home, and he's over there. So I'm here all alone. So it hasn't been too different. I used to go play basketball, ride my bike. I can still do that. Um, not much different. Like, I can't really complain. Like, I still went to the store and stuff, so I wasn't restricted. I didn't go to the gym, so that wasn't like a matter of me to like waiting for it to be open and stuff. So I've been doing good. It's been pretty fun so far. Like, I don't know. It's been fine with me. You know.
That's good. I'm glad that nothing has changed too much over there. Ivan does live in a different city, so it's like very rare for us to ever hang out. So we try to make it as best we can, though. And when things start to open up, we hope to meet each other and stay still talking together.
That's
I,
for sure. Yeah, Agustin was here for uh Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and he left Tuesday because he had to go to work.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, we were here chilling, just relaxing together and hanging out. Cause it's been a while since we really hang out like that. So
yeah,
it was nice.
for sure.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you. Basically we gave our points already, but do you know, since the things have been opening, if cases have gotten worse here in Arizona by any
Uh,
chance?
as of now, I think cases have started to rise up to what they were back then. And
Yeah.
let's just wait. Give me a second. Let me just look it up right now.
Yeah, I was just looking it up. But I'm sure cases have gone up. Like,
And let me just right now.
let's see.
I'm doing like the report as of today. There has been a transition of about. Let's see. Uh,
When did things start opening again? May 5th?
yeah,
They've been slowly going up,
they've been
right?
there's around 15,000 cases, so
Yeah, that's what I saw.
it doesn't seem to be too much of a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like as long as people like follow instructions and stuff, we should be fine.
Yeah,
I mean, things do kind of have to go back to normal because people are gonna go broke and they're not gonna eat, and it's gonna be worse. So I see the point of opening things up. Just that people have to be they have to
I
be safe. Like I don't know. Like,
it's a toss up. Like I believe we
yeah,
should stay in and keep everything like strict as it is because honestly, it's kind of our punishment for not taking care of this months before, and I know there's a lot of mixed feelings. Like, a lot of people are going unemployed. A lot of people are struggling to make ends meet. A lot of bankruptcies are basically are around the corner. Lots of businesses are starting to feel like they're getting pressured. And
hmm
some people are saying, oh, rely on the government. Other people say we should rely on ourselves and just open it up and let
yeah,
things weigh. I'm a little bit more on the moral side where I believe lives over profits, but uh, people can disagree with me on that. I know that opening up the country might be a little bit better in the sense of helping people gain immunity, gain like herd immunity, because if you're exposed to it and you're asymptomatic and you get the antibodies, that I don't speak as a perspective of a doctor, just as a disclaimer. So
yeah.
anything I
We're not
say,
yeah, we're not professionals in any of this. So anything we just say is our opinion and we think about it.
so yeah, anything I say in this is anecdotal, and I say that with like very strictness. So do not take my word and go publish it on Twitter and say that I'm legit, please. I ask you guys not to do that. So what we were mentioning is that cases here are going up, and I believe we should still stay inside and make the best of it because a vaccine is a best solution to give us like the fastest amount of immunity, because the other route of herd immunity is acquiring it naturally is not as bad, but the fact that people might die in the process is just something that doesn't bode well with a lot of people. And I know, not to get too political, but some people just say that it's just part of life. Life still goes on. I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of people post that the coronavirus is a conspiracy. So, like, it's just really weird seeing people like not take it seriously. Like, I think things should be open back up again, like slowly, like we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, we should be restrictions like the 6 feet apart, and if stores require the mask, and like try to be as clean as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people they're hearing like, oh, it's open back up again, and they're like, oh, okay, back to normal, and
Yeah.
they're just living their life like nothing happened, and the virus is gonna get spread out faster than last time if people don't follow instructions. So like I go to the stores and I see a lot of people wearing masks, which is good.
Yeah, that's
We're
good.
trying to stay away 6 feet. I've been following all that just to like if I got the virus, I would probably survive it. Agustin got it. Was pretty young, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's just to keep other people safe. So
We'd be able to tank it for a little bit, but I mean,
yeah,
the
hopefully
the fact of the matter is whether or not we can tank it good. It's the fact of
it's
whether,
the other people too.
yeah, because I mean, in the area I live in, there's a lot of people with immunocompromised. There's older people I live
Yeah,
with. Some of my neighbors are elderly, so they could be at risk too. And then I could just be like saying, "Oh, it's not. It doesn't affect me." I'm not a person that only looks out for myself. I do care about my overall health, but I also like to see what I interact and how much
yeah.
of an influence I can do to myself.
Yeah,
Because,
especially because you go and work into people's like
yeah.
jobs and stuff, so you can spread it out
And
faster. I was gonna ask you. Oh,
what's
okay,
up?
go. You can say it. You can say
Oh
it.
no, what were you gonna
Whatever you
say?
want to say. Has your family life been different? Like for me, personally, I've been not going back home because people don't. So for the people that don't know, I don't live with my parents, so I live like 4 hours away. So I've been trying to not go as much because they live in a smaller city, and in case I have it or anything, I've just not been going in as much. And I just wanted to see if that changed with you.
Well, for me, my mom has, she appreciated me visiting more often as the quarantine was starting to barely take effect because,
Yeah.
she saw it as, oh, more time with my son. It's not a big deal. And as the quarantine progressed more and more and the lockdown was initiated, she kind of just been getting a little bit more cautious and told me, hey, Augustine, if you could limit your visits to me, I don't mind. We could always talk on the phone, video chat.
Mhm.
And, she says like maybe limit my visit to maybe once a month. I've been going twice a week, or no, sorry, twice a month. Not to visit my
Yeah.
mom, but also to visit my girlfriend. She's also in the same area. It's like a 3 hour drive, so it's not that big of a deal between the cities. But I
Hmm.
understand my mom's precautions. My mom is already getting ready to retire. This August she turned 60, so she's already going to start her process for retirement.
That's
And
cool.
it didn't click into me until I realized like my mom's already in that group of people that are at higher risks.
Yeah.
So I have a sense of
I
duty to.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize that too because my mom's older too. So I was like,
Mhm.
I wasn't even thinking of that until
Yeah, and my
it
mom
actually
like,
clicked.
and I find it weird because like I know she's been reading her news and getting a little bit more scared every day, which I've told her to
Mhm.
like lay it off and just not care about as much as what's going on. Maybe take it easy because she gets very paranoid. Like the other
Yeah.
day when I visited her, she was just saying, "Oh, Augustine, make sure you spray your shoes." And she grabs my pair of shoes and sprays them on sprays the heels or like the sole with this orange liquid and says that it can kill the coronavirus. And I was like, "Mom, like, how does this?" Not trying to sound like too ignorant, but I said, How does this keep me from not infecting others? I'm not touching people with my soles." And in our apartment, we have a habit of just leaving your shoes by the door because we like to walk barefoot or with
Mhm.
socks on around the place because it's all carpet and
Yeah.
we don't want to stain the floor. And she's like, "You never know. You might have it and you might give it to people." I'm like, I mean, if I'm playing soccer, I might give it to people.
Yeah.
I try to tell my mom it was a little bit nonsensical, but I don't like to argue with my mom or give her like insights, like tell her, "Hey, I'm right and you're wrong," but because she's my mother, like,
Yeah. I don't do that either. My mom wanted me to wear a face mask, and I was like, okay, I'll wear one. But
yeah, I
uh,
I do try to disbelieve because she tends to read a lot of Facebook news, and she has sometimes seen stuff that pops up that
yeah,
I tell her,
Facebook is crazy, dude.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tell her don't read it. Like, not like I don't believe in a lot of stuff that Facebook people post. It's I take it with a grain of salt. Same thing with Twitter. Like anything that
Dude,
people post.
but Facebook is like another fucking like. Oh, sorry for cursing, but like it's another thing like completely. Like I saw since I follow a lot of people from back home and
Mhm.
most of them are Mexican. They were like, oh, we have the cure, like a little bit of honey, a little bit of lime, a little bit of ginger, and I was like, oh my god, people are gonna believe this. So
Home remedies are the key to
yeah,
curing
the
a
home remedies are
pandemic.
coming out. Yeah, it's just crazy.
I'm on the same boat of like, I don't trust anything with Facebook. It's not even because I mean, I personally don't have Facebook anymore. I got rid of it around senior year of high school when I just saw it as like nonsense and didn't really need it. And yeah, I get backlash from people that they miss seeing my profile, especially family members because I've lost touch with them. And so I decided to do a little bit better by getting just the messenger portion. So like like the texting portion of Facebook. So I do have
Yeah,
that, and I do keep in touch with like friends, family, but that's only it. Like I don't have any other. I don't have a profile. I don't want to be as associated. I don't want to read anything because I might be susceptible. I might become one of those
yeah.
Facebook moms that starts to believe that things are like not the way they seem, or I just try to minimize my sources and be more credible.
Yeah, I still use Facebook. I actually the marketplace in Facebook is really nice. That's what I use most of the time. I
Mm-hmm.
also use it to like keep up with like like gossip and stuff from our town and stuff. It's just it's
Mm-hmm.
entertaining sometimes. Sometimes you can find crazy stuff like crazy ass videos there, which is also fun. But yeah, Facebook is super weird because people
Uh,
believe everything that's there,
Yes, and it's been a huge
especially the
problem.
older people. Yeah,
And you can't blame them. I mean, some people just use Facebook all their life, and they basically that's how people learn. Like, I mean, I get a lot of my articles from Reddit, but I always make sure they're credible. They're from good sites. There's this good site that I could reference people. I'll leave a link down in the description below. The type of site that I use for checking like the sources. It's a place called Bias Check. So it rates a website based on how biased they are, whether it's left wing, left wing or right wing, oh,
yeah,
and also the least biased. I typically lean more towards the center because I like to take both perspectives at hand.
yeah.
But
Me
I
too. I like to take both perspectives in.
but I consider myself slightly left, just for disclaimer. And considering back, like my mom has just trying to stay safe, and I'm doing the best I can to give her the space she needs until this whole thing clears up. Because I
Yeah,
want my mom to be healthy and make sure she has a nice life and doesn't have to go through any of the hardships. Because dog, like, if you're at the hospital right now, you're basically alone. Like you can't have anyone visiting you. Can you
yeah. It's
believe that?
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like you'll go insane just being all alone, and you'll probably fall into like a mini depression because you don't have anyone to interact with other than the nurses who, it's not that they don't want to talk to you, but they're so busy with
They're
other.
scared too
Yeah,
about
and
it.
they're so paranoid that some of them might not even be taking the chance, and it leaves a lot of people. I know my girlfriend tends to talk about how they can't get visitors anymore where she works, and
Mhm.
a lot of the elderly people that she takes care of because she's a CNA are having like loanship issues where they just feel lonely. Their only company are like just her and a couple of other of her coworkers that keep them company because a lot of them just miss having their families around. And I,
Yeah.
I can sincerely feel that, like, me being by myself, yeah, I have the choice of going out to like talk to people, but only for like maybe getting my food, talking to a cashier, but I'm interacting with someone, and that's what I think is more important
Hmm.
just than just being able to like go out and do my normal life. We're such social
Yeah.
creatures, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I feel like interaction is very important right now, especially because people are alone in their house. Most people are,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like you said, they're gonna start going crazy and start falling into depression stuff like that. So I think it's good to at least talk to someone once a day. I don't know. We've been playing video games. That helps a lot because our
Warzone,
friends.
Warzone, baby.
Yeah, we've been playing Call of Duty, and that helps because we have fun there.
Yeah,
And Agustin came over, so we're trying to like socialize as much as possible.
yeah,
Which I
it's
recommend anyone out there. If you're not socializing, try to talk to someone. Try to
yeah.
talk to your parents at least. Phone call a day, once a week. I don't know.
Talk to an old friend, send an email out, make a phone call to someone that you can talk with. If you guys are lonely, you could always reach out on an online chat. or find like something to do on many sites. Reddit has a lot of different common subcategories, like subreddits, that you can like find something you're interested in. You can go on Facebook, find a local group, go run, exercise, something to keep you occupied, because the more you think about it, the more you start to feel like you're going insane. And I say
Yeah,
that from my perspective.
I agree. Yeah, and so yeah, for me, life hasn't been too different. That's basically I haven't been like too affected by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know other people have, so I can't talk for them.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know if you want to say anything else about the whole Corona thing.
Just that the whole thing is a conspiracy by the government to install batteries in pigeons. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a five
Okay,
G, so it's
it's
the 5G cell towers.
okay. This is our next topic. I am gonna dispute all of these conspiracies here as a
Okay,
technician.
dispute the government's changing the batteries in the
Okay,
pigeons.
so the silliest conspiracy I've heard was that the government was trying to use this pandemic to keep everyone shut off and use them to like replace the batteries off the pigeons, because apparently there's an idea that the pigeons have batteries and
Okay,
camera
Agustin,
that they're surveilling our audiences. I don't believe that one bit.
Agustin, have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yes,
Where?
at the zoo.
Oh, there's no pigeons at the zoo.
Yes, there
First of
is.
all, there's no pigeons at the zoo. First of all, Agustin,
But
there's
I've
no
seen
pigeons.
baby versions of pigeons. I we Where we live,
Where?
anywhere.
I've never seen a baby pigeon.
My friend Jackie rescued one the other day. I mean, okay, sorry, not the other day, but a couple months ago, she found like one injured on the sidewalk, and she nursed it back to health, and it became a full blown pigeon.
How did she know it was a pigeon?
It was a little bird. It turned gray.
Maybe it's a dove. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know the exact species of it, but anyone who knows it, just leave a comment or suggest it, because I don't know. All
All
I
I'm
know is
trying
that
to
it's a baby bird and it can fly.
all I'm trying to say is the pigeons are spying on us.
No, they're not. The same way that people cover their webcams. Look, here's the thing: if the government is watching you and you have nothing to hide, yeah, you shouldn't be as worried. I believe in privacy by any means. So I'm the type of guy that believes in, if you don't care about your privacy, then you shouldn't care about your freedom of speech, because in the end, none of it will matter if they just know what you're thinking, right? That being said, I think that people saying that we're being spied on is a bit of an overstretch, because
Definitely.
there's so much data in the world that it's literally, unless the algorithm is in the perfected state of mind with a supercomputer, it's just hard to locate piece by piece unless you're making a bigger name for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
if you're doing suspicious activity, you're probably going to be trickled down alongside the millions of billions bits of data that's being transmitted every second of our lives. So it's hard to like debate that you're being watched. You could be, but I doubt it's from the government. I doubt it. I think it's
Yeah.
from maybe a perpetrator who manages to get into your computer, because here's something that I can give you guys that I know evidently. Every computer that's Windows based has an open port that's set to 3389. I think that's the exact four-digit number. If they manage to find your public IP address and they put that port, they basically have an entrance to your computer.
Shit.
What happened over there, Ivan?
Just keep talking.
All right. Anyway, while Ivan fixes that, so basically, if that port is managed to, like, hasn't been changed, I've changed it since. If you guys want a tutorial on that, you guys can leave a comment and I'll be able to help you out with that. But if they find your public IP address and your port, you're basically already gateway access into your computer, and they could probably see everything you see. And the weirdest thing from my perspective is, I don't even need to go onto your computer and see your activity. I could just trace your IP and see all the data you log in if it isn't encrypted.
Yeah. Okay. We'll stop talking about that.
Yeah.
But what do you think
So,
about the 5G towers?
okay, that's another dispute, because I'm somewhat professional in that topic that I could discuss it. 5G, on the short answer, does not cause coronavirus. It is a frequency. It does not cause anything to do with your body. Wi-Fi has been the standard for since basically the early broadband routers have been enabled. So the wireless frequency has been documented, tested by different sources, that it does not cause any sorts of illness or radiation within humans. Because this is the thing. Whenever your Wi-Fi is transmitted, especially if you have a newer router, you have two different waves, 2.4G and 5G. 2.4G is the longest long range. So it'll reach more parts of your wall and more areas of your house, but the signal will get weaker and it's not as strong. 5G is more of like that eager little short one. Like it has the fastest speed, but the farther you get away from it, it'll the signal will start to fade away. So
Hmm.
it doesn't even have that long of a reach, first of all. So if even if you were next to a 5G tower, unless you're in like a good like angle for it to signal to reach your phone or even you, is amazing already. And the second you move to like let's say a tree, your signal is immediately lost.
Yeah.
So the exposure you have to 5G is not even long, and you've already been exposed to 5G with your router because you already produced that broadband on your Wi-Fi. So you haven't had any effects since you were little, and I could clearly say with honesty and clarity that it does not cause it. That's just how spectrums work. Whether it causes other things is different. I know recently the guys were getting very, I get a little bit too extremist with how things work. Like we had a router issue where the placement was causing some, like basically poor signal in our rooms, and I
Yeah.
had theorized that it was the microwave causing the problem. And a lot of my friends were like, "Yeah, bro, you're capping. Like you're going insane." I'm like, "No, it's true." And then, I'm taking a networking class, and my professor backed me up by saying, "Yeah, microwaves broadcast in 2.4G radio waves, but only when they're active. So it's not as persistent. When you microwave something, it'll interrupt the signal temporarily, but it goes back to normal. But the fact that the microwave was between the router and our rooms, and if even if people microwave once, was still enough to interrupt the signal, and the signal was already poor as it is, so we had to remove it and put it farther away from the microwave and closer to our rooms, and that resolved the issue. But yeah, in some ways, if you wonder why your signal might be bad, just check the position of your router and microwave, and if people use it
Just don't
consistently, you might notice something.
just don't use your microwave.
Yeah, right. Is this? It's gonna be another conspiracy. Watch it become one.
So yeah, I don't know. People are crazy coming up with so many conspiracies. I think it's pretty funny.
I think it. And what was another one you've heard of? You have any other ones?
No, that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
I haven't heard anything else.
I mean, it's not as. I feel like it's very funny because people are attacking China left and right that it's their fault, and in some ways, like you could say it's their fault. Maybe another one that I've heard is that they created it and they kind of looked at it as, oh yeah, let's make a. I think they were trying to create like. Okay, let me just backtrack. But the conspiracy revolves around they were originally trying to create a vaccine for SARS coronavirus, like the older one that happened in
Mm.
like 2003 to 2005, and they messed up by replicating or re-engineering the coronavirus, but in this new strain, which is COVID-19, and they basically it broke out of the laboratory and it was near a testing facility in Wuhan, China, or I can't remember the specific location, and
Yeah, I think it's Wuhan.
that's what caused the whole spread to happen. So with that being said, it's basically they were trying to make a vaccine. It ended up becoming a stronger virus, and then it ended up getting released, and now it's out in the world. And I think the reason that China might be denying it is because they don't want to be blamed for it, because then they would be the ones repaying everything. Do I believe that's true? It depends. There's no factual evidence. It's just speculation, so I'm not going to believe it as of this moment. But if more information comes later down the road, I'll reevaluate my opinion and my thoughts about it. But that's an interesting one that I've seen. You, Ivan? You
Yeah,
had?
so no, I think that's it. Pretty much. It's been pretty interesting, this whole thing.
Yeah. The one thing I would miss. I miss being able to go to like restaurants and being able to just casually just chime in, because I don't think life will be as normal when
All
everything gets
right.
back into normal. And here's something that the audience doesn't know, but like I spent my 21st birthday locked up, and I haven't actually experienced going to like an American bar. I've gone to Mexico and I've gone to bars there, but in my head it's not the same, because drinking in Mexico is 18, and for someone like me who wanted to experience like the American version of it, like in the United States, I was like so happy to turn 21 and being able to go out to bars and have fun with friends. And I
Yeah,
already,
we're planning a big trip to Vegas.
yeah,
Like
and
all our friends were finally 21, and it's not gonna happen.
yeah.
So
Not only that, but other things happened, and that's not something we're gonna get into. But things
maybe not
just,
today. Maybe another
yeah,
day. Agustin.
maybe another
Maybe
day,
later.
maybe another day. But yeah, things just went for the worst, and you know, it's just we have to change and adapt to the current situations.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Do you want to talk about anything else, or you think this is good? Should cap it out.
I mean,
Cap it off right here.
I think we're good on
I
on our length. We have around 40 minutes in, so I think it's good to wrap it up for now.
I think it's good to wrap it up because
Yeah.
we're gonna start talking about everything else. Or I know he'll be here for hours.
But yeah, we spent a lot of time focused on this that we ended up we overthink it too much and we're like, yeah, let's just record it and see what happens. But
Yep.
anyways, thank you guys for listening or watching. If you're seeing this on YouTube, we appreciate the support, and we plan to publish more episodes down the road. Hope thank you guys for
Yeah, we're
tuning in.
trying. We're trying to do one a week, so it's gonna be every Friday, right?
Of course, Friday's gonna be our schedule.
Every Friday at what is it? 11?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. every Friday.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be able to stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this don't take too long to edit. They're pretty much done as soon as we start recording.
Yeah, just a few tweaks and we're good to go.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoy it, please like and comment. If you watch it on YouTube, tell us anything you want to see or add if we're doing something correctly. Any topics, any ideas, we're open to it. We're pretty open minded on what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Um, but if you like the podcast, share it with people. So I don't know, yeah, or don't share. I don't mind.
We're still gonna keep making episodes, so we're gonna try to get the word out more often. And the more you guys listen, the more support we get, and the more we appreciate it. We
Yep.
love everything. So thank you
And we're
guys.
gonna keep doing improvements every podcast. So
Of course.
hopefully we get to a point which is really good.
Hmm.
And yeah, thank you for watching and listening.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Agustin Contreras, and this is
My name is Ivan, and
this
we're not
is Border
cutting.
Talk.